So you look at the IFF, you look at the state union, you look at the locals, and if you just throw all those pieces on the table, you're like, there's a lot going on here. It's hard to see the forest through the trees there. So it seems like the education committee's role is to help everybody understand clearly and concisely what's going on around you so that when you want to access information about negotiations, you can go find out how to do that. You want to know how to be an executive board member, you can go find out how to do that. But you also get to learn the processes of how it works so that if you want to make change, you know the process rather than just saying, we should do this. And we all know that guy or set of guys or girls or whoever that like to get loud on a stance without thinking through the process.
Yeah. Being on the executive board and doing all those things and even starting off in the new member orientation, learning the basics and how we got where we're at and what we fight for to maintain what we have, then building on that, hopefully, that's kind of the whole goal of finding the resources on the website, coming to these classes, coming to the PEP, the International puts on the PEP classes, going to those, educating yourself and keeping yourself up on everything that's happening. Yeah. It builds on itself, right? You're not going to walk in on day one and know how to do everything. Takes some time.
No matter how inspired you may be.
Yeah. Right. You try like you might. You don't know everything.
But you know what? And Mickey brings another great point. Every member should go to the new member orientation class. It gives you a base knowledge, right? But not everybody's going to have the drive to be like, oh, I want to be on the negotiating committee. I want to be on the e-board so I can negotiate contracts, or I want to be on the grievance committee. When we talk about having a grievance committee or a negotiating committee, those are for generally larger departments, and they may siphon off different committees. But what we do need every member to do is support their e-board, right? They go to the new member orientation, and then they'll support those guys because they're going to learn a little bit about a little knowledge, and then they can go on and support their e-boards and move them forward. Because we know that not everybody's comfortable walking into a room and having to do some of the things. But being a good union member is not just following blindly, but supporting your e-board on the issues in some stances that they may have to take.
Yeah, and I can understanding the scope of each issue comes from the education committee to understand these things.
That's a big part of it. Hopefully that's part of what we're doing, right? And anyone can come into the union meeting and throw rocks, but knowing why things are done and they're done in a certain way, that's part of the education of educating those guys on the board. And even the guys that, the casual guy too, why things are the way they are. This class, that new member class, gives you that kind of baseline knowledge of where you're at.